Hello and welcome to the China podcast. You're listening to a bonus episode. It's the first time we've put out extra content in the same week as the usual stuff. Owen is not here today. He's busy measuring up for a new hoodie because he's booked in for a special thing he's doing later this month and he needs something nice to wear. But I'm not alone. I'm joined here today by two Frenchmen, Gab and Edmond. Very kind of you guys to join me. How are you?
We're great. Thank you for inviting us today. It's a real pleasure.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Tell us something about yourselves.
Well, you go first.
I've been in China for 3 years. Was in Thailand for 15 years before that. Loving Chongqing. That's about me.
So is Chongqing your first city in China? Or
Chongqing is my first city in China.
Right.
I've never been anywhere else. I mean, I've been to places, but I've never lived anywhere else. Yes.
Okay. Gab?
Yeah, so I've been living in Chongqing for almost 10 years now. And what can I say? I'm a teacher. Chongqing has been like my second home, as I've blended it here so much that, I don't feel like an expat anymore. I feel more like a local foreigner, as I used to say.
Yeah, that's cool. And, right, so you're both from France. What part of France are you from? I know, let the listeners know.
We are from very different parts of the country. He's from Normandy.
Normandy.
That's near England, basically, just across the channel.
Yeah.
And I'm from Provence, Marseille. That's the second biggest city in France.
Yeah.
And it's just in between Spain and Italy, along the Mediterranean coast. So we've got a very, very different... Although, we share the same language, same history, everything, but we also have very different... personalities that are
culture as well.
Influenced by the culture.
Yes.
I'm much more in many ways I'm very close to Spanish people or Italian people.
Okay.
Very hot-tempered and
so
whereas
there's like a bit of a hot pot of cultures going on in the south.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
And Marseille is the birthplace of my favorite footballer, Eric Cantona.
Yes, that is. Yes.
My namesake. I don't know if he still lives there. Probably in Paris now, is he?
I would be surprised if he lived in Paris because he kind of hates the system, He's always after bankers and, he's a rebel, I don't think he lives in Paris. I don't think he will like it.
Okay. I may find out what he's doing now. He might still be in England for all I know.
It's possible. He loves England. He thinks himself more as an Englishman, I think. But the way he speaks English... actually, it's not. For your listeners, if you think that's a French accent, that's a Marseille accent.
All right, you've got to be specific.
Yes.
Right. So for regulars, if you listen to our second episode of the podcast when we spoke about health and fitness in China, then you might remember me talking about training for a half marathon that sadly was cancelled. It was supposed to be on the 5th of December, so nearly 2 weeks ago. But I'm running in another one, and this Sunday, in fact, December 19th. It's not an official marathon as such, but it has been organised by Gab here. And Gab and Edmond, they're just two of my running partners. There are many, many more guys and ladies. And, they've both been running. They're both running on Sunday too. So I've invited them here to have a chat about the event and running in general, I suppose. Gab, if we start with you, can you tell us what the name of this half marathon is, where it's going to take place, and why did you put it together?
So, the name of the marathon is because that's the first edition of the Bamboo Grove International Half Marathon, and it's going to take place along the Jialing River. In a place that is called Bamboo Grove in English. It's called Zhangyucheng in Chinese for the listeners that know Chinese.
Yeah, okay.
And that's really close to the place I live. But I honestly think that's the best running place in Chongqing because you can So you can follow the river for around 10 kilometers without have to cross any road and being disturbed by any cars or motorcycles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the view on the Jialing River is just amazing. It's amazing. The air is good. And that's been the place I have been running there since I moved to Zhangyucheng. So it's been like 4 years now. And I've discovered new parts of the area. And I've just, I've been telling my friends for a long time that that's the place to run in Chongqing. And what happened, as you mentioned, is the race we're supposed to participate, the Chongqing International Half Marathon, was cancelled, as were all the other races in the country.
Yeah.
So many of us were disappointed because we had trained hard for weeks and months.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that, what about we just do it by ourselves? It doesn't, running, that's the good thing with running is need a pair of shoes, a GPS watch, and that's it, and a couple of friends to run with you.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the magic about
running. Doesn't cost any money.
Doesn't cost
really
much, and
pair of runners. That's about it.
But the thing is, running by yourself is harder than having a support from a community. So
yeah,
we just decided to do it by ourselves, and then more and more runners have been joining us in the last week. And now we are going to be like 20 runners on Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I think we're going to have a great time. Maybe even better than an official race, because we are going to do it in a different way. Normally, like everybody starts at the same time. For example, 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
With a gunshot, and then everybody starts, and But now I've decided to do it differently, because the people running together on Sunday have different levels, and I don't want anyone to feel discriminated by their levels. I want everybody to enjoy it as much as possible. So what we're going to do is start at different times according to our PBs, so our personal best performances and our goals.
Mm-hmm.
And according to this, we are going to start at different times. And the idea is to be able to finish the last kilometers all together.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
As
yeah,
a pack, and we are going to be able to cheer up each other and all give our best, and all finish together pretty much at the same time, and then be able to celebrate it together. So I'm very excited about this event, much more than I was about an official race. Because in official race, you just care about yourself. Basically, am I ready? Am I? Did I train properly? You think only about yourself. But about Sunday's race, I've been focusing much more on others. And I just want to make sure everybody enjoys themselves. On the race, and that's it. I'll be happy no matter what is my time on the race.
Yeah, you're clearly dedicated. I mean, you've put so much work into it. Like, you've even got us jerseys, race jerseys, medals, certs, the whole.
I want it to be
the whole lot.
I want people to remember it, and when they train, maybe sometimes wear the jersey. Will be, and it might, the first. I hope it's not the last, and I hope we are gonna follow up by organizing other events, like some shorter events, like 10Ks, 5Ks, or even some. Team races where we come,
That's cool.
How do you call it? Relays?
Relays.
Yeah. Because the problem with half marathon is quite long distance, and some people, newer runners, may be afraid of the distance.
Okay.
So I want to try to. My goal is promoting running as a self-help tool, and so I'm gonna organize other events in the wake of this one. To promote runnings, especially to people that haven't been running or running just a bit, but think, oh no, you guys are too advanced for me. I cannot run with you guys. No, I want to show that everybody can benefit from running. Everybody can improve if they are dedicated, and that's pretty much what I want to do. I don't really care about what I love about running is we don't have to compare each other, But we just compare. Did I do better than I did last year? And that's it.
Yeah.
Because none of us, some guys on Sunday are going to be very advanced runners. Some are quite beginners, but compared with Olympians, we all suck. So it doesn't really matter. 1 hour, 20 minutes or 2 hours compared with Kipchoge. Yeah. We all suck anyway. So.
Yeah. So Edmond, how many runners do we have for Sunday right now? What's the...
22?
So there are like 18 runners. That
18,
have subscribed,
okay.
And there are 2 volunteers that are gonna. I want to thank them if they are listening at the moment. It's like they are just gonna come to help us, with the water, with the start, I'm really grateful to them.
So it's very well organized. And so, how many nationalities are taking part?
6, 7.
So we've got
Because you have the flags on the jerseys.
So I had to design the jersey like very quickly, so I didn't know how to do it. So I thought, what about putting all the participants' flags on it but not to show, oh, I'm from France, you're from Ireland. Or, no, more like a united nation of runners. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So
you've got that community aspect to it.
So we've got many,
as you like you talk about.
Yeah, we've got many Englishmen actually.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 of them. We've got
Australian, Canadian,
Chinese,
Italian, Chinese,
one Irish, 2
Welsh.
one Welsh.
I think we're at 8, are we? I think there are 8 flags, 7 or 8 flags on that jersey.
Yes,
correct.
So 8
and
nationalities.
we've got like 3 or 4 Chinese.
That's what I really like about this event. Actually, it's like really promoting. It's really promoting, like running together rather than running alone. One of the thing about running is like it's really a lonely thing to be honest. But I think with the community that we've got, it's really good, and I think it also grew really like organically.
Okay.
I think at the beginning we didn't really want to do something like this, but as more people joined in, and we created that kind of like a brotherhood of runners.
That's cool.
That's something
really
I've
cool.
been dreaming of creating for 3 years, and when I started, it just failed. I tried to organize the same event like back in 2019, and no one showed up, and I ended up running alone along the river at the same place. Alone in Saturday morning. I started at 6 a.m. and I was, and I said, okay, I do it myself. And then I wouldn't have imagined like so many people would join in 3 years later, and we will have such, it's like it's not only people are joining, it's also I can see they are very enthusiastic about it. And I think that's just the beginning. I hope.
Yeah. So why run? Is my next question. Was it something that you always did, or did you only take it up after you came to China?
So running is like it's been something very, very important in my life only for 2 years, I would say. I used to run when I was a kid with my dad and brother. He would take us to the running track on Sunday sometimes. And we just ran a few laps, and that's it. Never competitively or anything. After I arrived in China, I needed to find something to help me deal with my anxiety and the cultural shock and everything. So I bought a gym membership.
Okay.
And for 2 years, I was just running on the treadmill.
Yeah.
And doing some like 30-minute stuff,
Yeah.
as fast as I could. And that was it. I had never had any idea.
But to me, it's not the same as being outside in the fresh air.
It started different.
Yeah.
And for me, back then, it was just a way to deal with my emotions. I noticed that I feel better after running. I feel more. I have less anxiety. I feel just more active, more. I just want to socialize more after running. So that's what I did.
That's the mental aspect of it.
Yeah, but that was
it's a big thing.
30 minutes tops. And then what happened is like my father, the last time he came to visit me here, he brought me a gift, and that was a Garmin watch.
Oh, cool.
He bought one for me and one for my brother.
Yeah.
After my dad was about to retire, and he decided he needed something to motivate himself, and he decided to join a runners club and to prepare for a race called Marseille-Cassis that is in southern France. It's a classic race, very, very famous. It's a 20K uphill. And that is broadcasted on TV, on local TV. Because my brother had attended this race the previous year, and my dad was sitting on his sofa, and he saw my brother running on TV, and he's like, you know what? Next year I'm doing it with my son. And that's how it all started for him. He was not good at running. He was like 65 something, a bit overweight. And he joined a club, and I noticed how fast he improved, how good it became. Like the last time I ran with him, he was way faster than I was. And it like kicked my butt, like seriously. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be as good as dad.
Yeah,
You know,
that's cool.
I want to run someday along with my brother and my dad on the same race. Unfortunately, COVID made it impossible at the moment. But as I told them many times, like, it's okay. We keep training apart from each other, and soon we are gonna run along with each other. Perhaps in Chongqing Marathon. I want my dad and brother to come and run the full
here
marathon
and do
with,
it, yeah,
with
yeah.
us, maybe in 2023 or 24. I
Uh-huh.
don't know when, but
Uh-huh.
someday. So it all started, because of my dad's example and the fact that he offered me a Garmin watch changed everything, because suddenly I got some datas on my own running, and the datas gave me the motivation to do more.
So you can see that you're making improvements.
Exactly.
And Edmond, you have a brand new Garmin watch as well,
yes,
don't
I
you?
do. Yes.
Why did you take up running? What inspired you?
Well, when I came back from Thailand during the COVID, in December, it was December last year, I was really, really overweight, 98 kilos. And, Gab and Zach at the time were basically just running, and they said, why don't you just take up running and see what happens?
Yeah, Zach is one of our running mates as well.
Right.
Lives in the city. Well-known guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll see what happens. And then Gab also gave me some advice on how to eat and how to live a sort of like a healthier lifestyle, to have a healthier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 year after, I'm down today I'm 66 kilos.
Wow, now that's brilliant, yeah. And I must say, you're looking fantastic. I mean, you are in super shape. And it's a credit to you, yeah. It's inspiring, really. Yeah, and for me, I had never run like I do now before coming to China. I'd done it every so often, but never really dedicated to it. I'm still not really dedicated to it in the way you guys are. But really, yeah, I only did take it up about a year ago.
But I think after you have finished the race, you are gonna have much more motivation to train more. That's what happened.
I hope so. I hope I finished the race.
You will finish, I'm sure. But the thing is, in 2019, I participated to my first official race. We did it along with Dak.
Yeah.
But I hadn't trained properly for that race. But I just do it. That's it. And after I finished it, I realized how pleasant the experience was, and it gives me immediate motivation for training more. This kind of event gives you motivation.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So,
yeah.
Because it's not only the running part; it's also all this. When you've got crowds cheering you up, and all the runners, the solidarity between runners and everything, that just gives you the motivation to run more and improve your previous times and everything.
I think so. And are there any particular training methods or running styles from around the world that you follow or that you admire?
So after we finished our first half marathon with Dak, we wanted to improve. We wanted to keep running, but we didn't know how, actually. So I started reading a lot of ebooks, on running methods. The first one I came up with was called the 80-20. I liked this philosophy because it was very different from what the majority of runners are doing. That's much more like no pain, no gain. Yeah, exactly. No pain, no gain vision. Like, train as hard as you can, and always give the best. And this was very different. It was like basically it's like 80% of the time you do easy runs. Easy runs means you are not like huffing and puffing. You are just like breathing easy. You can maintain a conversation, and you are doing some easy miles. You are just trying to run longer and longer periods of time, and you only on 20% of your running is consists of higher intensity runs, moderate and higher intensity, where your heart rate beats like way faster, and when you are experiencing some pain sometimes. But what I like about that, it was like really totally opposed to the no pain no gain philosophy that I think is very destructive for not only for in bodybuilding or in fitness in general, but with everything in life. Many people think, for example, for losing weight or being fitter, you need to suffer.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it doesn't work. Anything that is not consistent over time, that you cannot do on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, doesn't really cannot help you improve and change over time. You can have some very quick improvements, but it doesn't last unless it's something you can do week in, week out.
So I don't think I could have done that.
Yeah.
If you guys use another mistake.
Yeah. So we started using it, and that's what we did for the first year. Recently, I've been reading up on some other methods in order to be able to keep improving, because I think the general philosophy of 80-20 is great, and that's what I recommend to all the new runners that come to us and are too much too much still in the no pain no gain philosophy, And I always tell them, be careful, because for improving in running, you need to keep running, and if you get injured, you're not going to be able to run for months.
Or you're going to burn out, which is even worse.
Or you're going to burn out. Either if you're lucky, you burn out. You're going to be exhausted for a few weeks. And if you are not lucky, you are going to be injured.
Yeah. What I've picked up from you both is things like high tempo runs, the importance of recovery runs, which is going to aid not getting injured. Because before I was just running pretty much as hard as not as hard as I could, but at the same tempo. I do it maybe twice a week.
That's something
I had no variety to my running.
That's something I noticed with all the new runners, is they don't run a lot of time per week. They don't do long runs. Like most of them, is the longest run they have done is 10 kilometers, something like this.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they run very hard compared with their maximum speed, and that's not something that can help you become a better runner over time.
It's not sustainable anyway.
It's not sustainable. It's only sustainable if you do it once a week, but you're not going to improve with only one run. So you'd rather run really much slower for longer periods of time, more often, and 20% of the time. Let's say you run 3 times a week. You are going to do one long run at an easy pace. You are going to run very slowly, but you are gonna get your body able to run longer and longer distances. As I told you, when I started, I was just doing like 30 minutes run, so I would never have thought I would be able one day to run like 25k, without stopping. But it's actually through reading, I have started to understand the science of running, the basic principles of running, and now what I'm trying to do is not only promote running itself, but also try to promote proper running. What I mean by proper running is something that can be sustainable. Because no matter how good you are, if you cannot keep running for consistently every week for years, you are never going to become a real good runner. And for that to be possible, you need to not be injured, and you still need energy for your daily life, for your work, for your family. So you should not be exhausted by the training, So that's something I'm trying to promote. I'm far from being the best runner in Chongqing, but I'm probably one of the runner that is the most interested in the science itself. So I've been trying.
I concur.
So I've been trying to promote the kind of free coaching, because I think knowledge can give you self-awareness, and self-awareness is the key to improvement. So that's what I'm trying to to share with the other runners, even sometimes with guys that are really, really good. We've got a young boy a Chinese boy in our community that's just 18 years old, and he can run a half marathon in 1 hour 20 minutes. He can run 100 Ks without stopping. He can run a full marathon in 3 hours, but I still think I can help him improve, because I'm not sure he's fully is using the best method he could. Knowledge is power. Is really power if you accept to implement it. Yeah. So basically, running for myself is a self-development tool, and I'm trying to share it with others.
Yeah, that's cool. And you touched upon the mental aspect of it and yourself dealing with anxiety, and of course running. It's not just about physical fitness, but also a lot of it has to do with mental fitness. Edmond, is that something that you agree with? Is that something that works for you? the mental
Yeah.
aspect of running?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the reasons, I mean, I didn't talk about that, but basically I've been separated from my family. They're back in Thailand because of COVID. And basically running, and also more importantly, you know, sustainable running. And the reason why I lost so much weight and I became so healthy is because basically running became my raison d'être, the only things that was basically helping me to wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
because you know I was alone, and I needed something where I could focus myself. And really that's what running, but as I said, sustainable running is really what helped me. And I think that's what Gab really gave me. That was the gift he gave me, which is basically, you know, you can become healthier. You don't have to run like no pain, no gain all the time. You can just, you know, become a better person. And it really helped me through, you know, that difficult time in my life, especially, you know, being away from everything that I was familiar with. You know, my family, and, you know, Chongqing is a new city for me. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, it really, really, it really helped me a lot, tons, basically.
And of course, we're part of a team of runners, a group. We have a couple of WeChat groups on the go. Can you guys, tell us about those groups, why they exist, what people get out of them?
So basically, my idea was to create a community of runners that is not just it's not just, you know, meet and run together and that's it. It's much more create a community, like a brotherhood.
Okay, yeah.
Of people like who use running as the way to how to say,
Express themselves, maybe?
express themselves, improve themselves, no matter what their level.
Yeah.
And who care about one another's improvement, progression, really care about one another. You know, that's what I wanted to create, and that's what we did with Dak and Edmond. We're the first, the three founders of the the Three Musketeers, and recently we have had some new brothers joining in. Yourself, Chris, that is an amazing runner that we met on the Bishan Half Marathon last year. And I think the community is growing up.
You know, it is growing all the time. Yeah.
But as I said, what the most important thing, I won't pick somebody from my in my brotherhood based on his level of running at the moment. I will only care about his or her commitment to improvement, her ability to listen to, for example, Edmond, why he has improved so much, not only in his weight loss, but in his running abilities.
Yeah.
When he started with Zach and myself, we wanted to encourage him to keep running because we thought it's a good way for him to lose weight. But back then, running for him was hard because
it was a challenge.
He was so overweight that, you know, and we decided we are gonna run at the same pace just to give him some company so that he can run longer and longer.
Give him the confidence.
I remember his first run here on the running track. He had to stop every 5 minutes, and he was running at 5 kilometers per hour. But it's okay. We decided it's okay. We're gonna do some slow run with him. Yeah, it's good for us too. And 1 year later, he's able to run a half marathon at 5:30 per kilometer. That is 11 kilometers per hour.
That's fantastic
for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and he's now a very competitive runner.
Yeah,
it's amazing how fast you can improve when you are willing to really. The thing is, he was willing to, suspend his beliefs on what you have to do and who you have to be healthy and to be a good runner. And he just listened to the principles I share with him, based on my readings and my experience, and he's decided to apply them, and voila.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's most impressive. Fair play to you, Edmond.
Thanks.
Yeah, as I said earlier, like, it is inspiring. Just you can see in a short matter of months the turnaround and the improvement. So yeah, we did a podcast on fitness and health in China, a few weeks ago. For you guys, what is your take on health and fitness in China? Like, are there any observations that you've made in your time living here? Now, in general, not just running, but just
I mean,
it's all around us, in my opinion.
for me, it's my main. I mean, apart from my work as a teacher and my family life, my main hobby is basically fitness in general, both nutrition and exercise. So I think in China, first, it's not something that's been in the culture for decades like it is in the West.
Yeah.
You know? It's something rather new. Elderly people tend to be, I think, quite healthy compared with the Western. I see grandpas walking at waking at 5 and walking around the communities, doing some morning exercise or some Tai Chi or some,
Yeah.
But sport, the way we see it, like in a competitive setting, is not too much part of the culture. It's something like was, how to say, the same as with every other activities in China has been changing so fast. People have been picking up activities that they see Western people doing, so they sometimes like the culture. They sometimes like I think in general they tend to be too much in the no pain no gain philosophy. You go to a Chinese gym, you're gonna always see the same kind of people. Like the coaches are huge guys, super jacked up, but you don't see this kind of guys like with some nice muscles, but at the same time, that feel flexible and able to run everything. It's more like, okay, you want to have muscles, you have to be like this. You have to lift heavy weight and eat a lot of protein shake and eat and eat and eat. And if you want to be a runner, you've got to run as hard as you can, as often as you can. They lack because Chinese people are very, very hardworking in general. For them, the key to success in studies or in work in general is to be is just to be more hardworking than the competitors.
Yeah, to be dedicated.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work when it applies to fitness. It's more, you have to understand how your body works, how your genetic works. There are some universal principle, and also there are some specificities linked to every person. Has some specificities, and fitness is much more about understanding those principles and applying them to yourself rather than trying to outwork everyone else. That's something I've noticed so much, and the same applies with diet. Many people have been asking us, "Hey guys, I saw you lost so much weight. You are so fit." Especially with Edmond, because it's been so dramatic. Like in 1 year, it totally changed. People sometimes, are you Edmond?
Yes, that's true.
For me, I also lost some weight, but it was been less dramatic. But some people are asking me, what should I do? Should I be like very, very strict with my calories? Only eat vegetables, this kind of stuff? And I always tell them, no, it's not this. It's not about being very, very
hard on yourself
and intense. It's much more understanding the principles and applying them in a consistent way over time. But I think also China is also changing so fast. It's been like, for example, 2 years ago I started being interested in intermittent fasting and keto diet that are very, very popular in the US at the moment. And when I started to talk about those principles around me, people thought I was crazy, basically. And now I'm starting to see some Chinese people that are also talking about it. There's a market opening up for this. People are going to be more and more open-minded to it. But when I said, for example, I ate only once a day, or I don't eat any carbohydrates, except for cheat meals that here and then, but on a daily basis, I don't eat any carbohydrates. People are like,
I can't do that.
Or like, are you sure you are not gonna die? Like you are not, sudden death? And I'm like, no, you know what? I can go 1, 2, 3 days without eating anything and still running 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
And when you tell people that it's actually the way nature programmed us to be, because in the nature we were not able to feed ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Nature didn't provide enough food for, you had to hunt, you had to follow an animal maybe for hours, maybe days before you could kill him, and then you have to bring it back to your village or the kind of
And then feast.
and then cook it and to eat, so you need plenty of energy on an empty stomach. So one thing I find very hard in China is the culture they have related to food is really like you've got to eat all the time. Basically, it's like
it goes back a long way.
It goes back a long way. It's like eat your breakfast, if you skip a meal, it's like
the end of the world.
It's very it's they see it as something dangerous for health, whereas it's actually something good for you. So it's something that definitely it's not an easy task to do in China, but at the same time it makes it really interesting. To share this. The same as with running, it's like it takes time. I have to be very patient with it.
But apart from that, I think that China still has a very, very strong culture of taking care of themselves, trying to improve themselves physically, mentally, in many ways. You know, I mean, you see like all those old people doing Tai Chi in the parks, all those older ladies doing evening dance. I really enjoy that aspect of China. That sort of like a public kind of like open space where people can do sports together. I really enjoy that. I think they're quite open-minded compared to like other countries.
And when they reach a certain age, when they retire, they don't just give up.
Right.
Like they would maybe in my country, they'll just stay indoors. It does not happen in China.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often.
I think elderly
based
people,
on the evidence.
elderly people in China are much more healthy in a way that
They're more active.
They still have a role as when you are a grandpa in China, you've got to cook breakfast for your grandson, take them to school, pick them up, take care of the homework. So you are very involved. Whereas like elderly people in the West tend to be like, okay, my life is over. I'm just waiting for death, basically. And that's many people. That's the problem. That's the problem in the West. That I don't see in China, because families are much more.
Integrated?
Integrated. Many in my building, most of the families live. 3 generations in the same apartment.
Right.
And that's why you see all these grandparents are very motivated to staying healthy, because they've got to be there for their kids and grandkids. Sometimes great grandkids. My wife still got her like great grandmother. I mean, it's something very, very positive about China.
Yeah.
I just wish they were able to, because they're also facing a lot of health issues like diabetes, cancers, that I think are related to the way they eat. And that's what I'm trying to share, this kind of new approaches, trying to help. But it takes time for people to open up to those ideas. But once they have opened up the door, then you can start to sharing those principles and try to have them applied in their daily life. I think that's something that's going to be my mission for maybe the next decade in China, I think. Apart from my role as a teacher and a father.
All right, so thanks so much, guys, for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity
on the China podcast. And just to remind you, the Gab, correct me if I'm wrong. The Jialing Bamboo Grove International Half Marathon.
Yes.
So that's happening this Sunday. December 19th.
December 19th.
Check it out. Come if you're living in Chongqing. Come along.
And you're welcome. And we will keep on organizing this kind of events, especially since because of COVID, we're not sure when are the next races gonna happen.
The
if they
official
are,
ones,
so we need to rely on ourselves to. So we're gonna organize all kinds of events like 10Ks, 5Ks, short races for newer runners, fartlek runs that are a combination of sprints and slow runs, like 1 minute fast, 1 minute slow.
Yeah.
The same way the Kenyans do it, like hundreds of people running together, different levels, but all sharing the same effort. That's what we want to do. We want to create a community of runners, no matter Chinese people, foreigners, doesn't matter.
Everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome. We all share the same the same principles, and we can both use English or Chinese to communicate. It's all fine.
That's cool. So
thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And yeah, best of luck to you, Gab, on Sunday. Best of luck to you, Edmond. Best of luck to me.
Yeah.
Best of luck to all our competitors.
I'm sure everybody's going to get a PB and is going to be so motivated. At the end of the race, everybody's going to, when is the next one?
Yeah,
And
hopefully.
That's what we train
looking for. Yeah. So, as I said, thanks, guys, for coming along. And I'll see you at the start line.
Yep.
Hopefully, I'll see you at the finish line.
We'll all see each other at the finish line.
All right. And thank you for listening again to the China podcast. And I'll talk to you soon.